any company who's trying to deploy AI for, CX, EX use cases needs to think about um, information access, needs to think about identity management. I know we're nearing time, so for the audience, I just want to recap a few things that stood out for me in this discussion. Right, one was when it comes to one is healthcare is not lagging. We It's just an agency that requires more precision, right? Because the outcome associated with in the healthcare space is a lot more vulnerable compared to a lot of other industries. So that's one thing. The other piece is when we are thinking about deploying these AI use cases in healthcare, definitely start with like low complexity, high volume use cases, or low complexity, high value use cases too, right? So stop there. Always have guardrails. Bring your employees, people delivering the CX. So bring them on board because they need to be on board before they can deliver unparalleled brand experience. And so one way to think about that is just helping them understand how we can reduce administrative burden, how we can remove friction points from their daily lives. At the same time, give them the opportunity to just express their opinion, help them do lunch and learns, create a lot of opportunities for them to engage in the process with a lot of curiosity. And there's also the side where you have to convey something, make the business case to the executives, right? And so in a lot of those conversations, I think multi-threading is really critical because you're going to have executives from different teams, from procurement, from customer experience, from maybe other teams that are involved in this experience, but maybe even somebody from marketing. So you need to make sure that all leaders, they understand not just the quantitative but also the ancillary benefits that come with deploying AI. And then towards the end, we talked a lot about the omni-channel experience, right? So when you're trying to design these AI assisted experiences, especially for patients who are usually sleep deprived or going through so many different problems, there's a lot more at stake for you to handle. And so making sure that they don't have to repeat themselves, making sure that the effort on their end is as minimal as possible. If something is, if I reach out over chat and I need to switch to, call, then that information context is getting preserved across multiple channels. So these are all some great points for, anybody in the healthcare space to thinking about deploying AI to get started with. I think, Sarah, for the audience, the one question that I really want to wrap up with, actually two, but feel free to choose which one you want. One is, according to you, 3 years from now, what would you like the ideal state of the healthcare contact center to look like? What does that AI human agent ratio look like for you? That's one question. Or the other one is, we have a lot of people in the audience. We have a lot of people who are going to be who are still in the process of, yeah, have a lot of pressure to leverage AI in my company. I don't know where to begin, right? So, what would be that one piece of advice for them on where they should think about starting this journey?
I'm going to take your second question. You know, it's really daunting to figure out where you're going to start. I think start with your data. Even if you have minimal data, what are your longest calls? What are the reasons that people are calling back, so not achieving first contact resolution? If you happen to measure any kind of a NPS, CSAT, CES, whatever you're measuring, look for where your negative scores are. At the end of the day, you really need to decide, what problem am I solving? Am I improving our brand experience? Am I removing friction? Am I increasing capacity? What is it that you're really trying to get at? Again, solving one problem at a time. You've really got to just understand, who is this problem affecting? What is the team that's going to need to really implement this change? And again, bringing them along for that. Oftentimes, when you've got the number one call or email driver, that's not something that the team enjoys handling. They're really just kind of going through on autopilot to handle those interactions. And so I think that starting there, similar to any team. You know, what is one thing that if we got rid of that, it would make your day? Um, many examples, they're the same opportunities as identified by the leadership team within that customer service team. So I think really just eating an elephant one bite at a time, not overdoing it, and making sure that you've got a good starting set of data to be able to compare your results to.